cat. I mean, she's not dumb, but
she is dumb.
She's
very dumb.
That is really annoying.
Is this the body?
That is the chassis.
It's plastic.
Yeah, I know. I'm hungry.
Plastic chassis. What is this?
Let me get out of here.
I know. Oh.
Hey, go give me a pop.
Oh, give me your cans when you're done.
Okay.
The empty cans.
How's it going? Haven't really eaten dinner yet, so popcorn it is. Tonight I'm going to be starting what I thought was a ClodBuster, and then I looked deeper in the box, and it's actually a Tamiya bullhead. So got my super awesome stickers here, and kind of stoked right now. I've never built one of these before. I've never even built a ClodBuster. I've had a couple of them, but I've never actually built one. Look at that. So tonight's going to be probably a little limited on time too, because I do have to get back to the HobbyPlex and set up our pit tables for this weekend. We had to limit our entries to 75 people. We have 75 pit spots, and to make sure that nobody comes in and just to make sure that nobody comes in and you know, gets a pit spot where they're not supposed to. I got to mark all the pit spots, so it kind of stinks, but I got to get that done. So Jackson's on here. My sister's out here. Rod Case is on here. Awesome. Trevor's on here.
I'm on here.
Well, my son's here. I got look at that thing. Isn't that neat?
It's not that cool.
I think it's kind of cool.
It's okay.
Here's the ClodBuster chassis. What I'd like to do, these are the tires. Brand spanking new. What I'd like to do is
rims.
Get that J Concepts revolver. Is that the revolver? Regulator. The regulator setup. I think that'd be pretty sweet. So the one thing about Tamiya that always drives me nuts whenever I build them is that they're not broken down into bags per se. They're it's like building a model. And so if you've never built a Tamiya car before, but you're used to building you know, Team Associated cars, low-C cars and stuff, they can kind of throw you off if you're not ready for it. So, and Phillips screws. There's Phillips screws everywhere. That's another crazy thing.
Oh,
so here's A. And let's see. This is B. And here's your big bag of gears. This is going to be quite an undertaking. I've never done one of these before. Here's C. So what is everybody else working on? There's 8 of you guys on here tonight. Just to be a heads up, I'll probably bail about 10 o'clock tonight. I'll try to get something done, but this is starting the servo horn, C7. There's one. Oh my gosh, my cat. Jackson's working on e-buggy for tomorrow. Jackson, you're going to pit in my pit spot tomorrow. I'm giving up my pit spot. If that's okay. I'm kind of wigging out about this pit space deal. I fear that we're not going to run out, but I just don't want it to, even with a lowered capacity, I don't want it to look like it's packed down there, you know? Last month we had, somebody was like taking video and pictures or whatever, and then like writing down on a piece of paper, and it was freaking me out because I'm like, holy crap, like they're going to try to shame us all. But then nothing came of it, so I don't know. So the one thing about these Tamiya kits, a couple years ago I built a Blackfoot and a Monster Beetle for a customer back to back, and it had been so long since I built a Tamiya car period that I kind of forgot how it worked. So the second, I think I did the Blackfoot first, and I did the Monster Beetle second, and I think the Monster Beetle build was way better than the Blackfoot one, because then I was like, oh, I know what I'm doing now. But it's just like a model. You have to make sure that you get rid of your sprues. So if you got like a sprue cutter, you can snip that off, or just take a X-Acto knife and make sure you get rid of the little pieces of plastic. It's just, sometimes it doesn't matter, but I just feel like it's kind of sloppy if you just leave it around. It's like building a model. Like, you know, my Bandai models, you got to make sure you get all the little sprues that are left off of there, because it just doesn't look right. Even if you don't have to. So this wants me to put a servo in right off the bat. So now I'm going to think, what do I want to use for a servo? And I actually think I have. In my box of stuff here. Where is that? Oh, I know where it's at. So I actually think I have a servo I took off of a crawler a while back, and it's a metal geared servo, so it should be just fine. So I just gotta find it. Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. Although I could use that one. There it is. I have this box of just like mishmash parts. This is an old metal geared Radiant high voltage metal geared servo. So I think we're gonna make that work. All you guys wishing me happy birthday. Thank you. It's I don't know. I was busy at work. It's weird. Like the older you get, the less you really. For me, anyways, the older I get, the less I give a crap whether or not it's my birthday. I guess there's like there's pinnacles, like, you know, certain ages that you reach, and you know, 40 a couple years ago, obviously that was one. So Steve RC wants to know, are there sacred pit spots for Family Friday, spots that have been used by someone for years and everyone knows not to take it? I mean, I guess kind of. Like there's a couple guys that leave their pit mats around even though they haven't been there for a really long time. So like Don Drews has a setup and nobody really ever pits there. But for the most part, not really. You kind of get used to where people pit every week if you come and race, and like the Pavels always pit in kind of their area. You got TJ Williams who always kind of pits on an end in the same spot every week. You just kind of get used to it. But there are no real permanent pit spots other than mine. So Trevor says, everyone buys the high torque servos, but then they turn down their dual rate. Well, you're not turning down the strength of the servo, though. You're only turning down how far it throws in either direction. So you're not changing the strength of the servo. You're not even changing its speed. All you're doing with dual rate is just telling it how far it can go. So its holding power remains strong. That's why you want good servos. Should have got a bearing kit before I started doing this. I didn't even think about it. Ooh, a speed controller. The rods and springs, I think that comes next. I probably should have looked over everything first. Hey, look, bearings. Cool. Jackson, you're funny. Yeah, so I think we got Steve's question. That's there are no permanent pit spots. You kind of get used to who's there. You know, that's a big thing. All right, B. So this is screw bag A, B, and C, and it's asking for B. So we're gonna open up B. So one time I had a customer buy a Tamiya car, and they opened up every single bag and dumped it all out on a table, and then couldn't figure out how to put everything together. And that was brutal because they wanted to return it, and we're like, yeah, it doesn't really work like that. Sorry. So there should be some spacers in here. I see spacers here. But it says there might be here. I still have a cough from being sick this week. I did not have COVID. Got tested, and I was fine. Did kind of freak me out, but ended up being okay. This is 3x8. So another thing, once you're when you're building your stuff, it's always a really good idea to have a caliper on you. Make sure that you are getting your screws right. Sometimes these guys will have, like for instance, this instruction manual, I believe the screws are the size. So you can, I'll show you guys. On the Tamiya kits, you can actually see these right here. We can actually take a screw, a 3x8, and you can actually match it up to what's there. A lot of times, you know, some of these instruction manuals don't have that ability, so it's always good to just measure them anyways. So in this case, we're looking for a 3x8. And that's 8mm, so that's the right one. It is nice with Tamiya. You can kind of match it up. Jason wants to know if we're podcasting on Monday. We should be. I don't see any reason for us not to. Trying to think. We need to do like a like a year in review show, or I don't know, something like that, where we discuss. I was thinking like a top 10 or something like that, something along those lines. The problem is all that stuff's been done before, so it's like it's not really. Simpsons did it basically, you know. And I need my really good Phillips head that I should have, unless somebody took it, like Emerson. Dude, where is my flight test Phillips head? Oh no. What the heck? Should be all right. Yeah, the flight test Phillips set is awesome. I don't know where it's at. It's usually in my bin. Hopefully this works just fine. Kind of. Yeah, we need to talk about the good year we've had. I think you know, my thoughts on that come down to the fact that I think the attitudes of everybody at the track, I think, is what makes a good track stay that way. You know, if you got a place where you go and everybody's just a bunch of douchebags and, you know, they don't make it fun, nobody wants to go. And I've been around places like that before. So top 10 tips for beginners. That's a good one. I was actually thinking about trying to do like a video on that one of these days. We've been slacking on the video stuff because it's just been so busy at work. I think last Christmas we took like a 2-week sabbatical on me doing any sort of videos, period, because we don't really race for 2 weeks in Christmas time, and we were so busy you can't really do like a what's new because you can't get the counter space because everybody's, you know, in the store trying to buy stuff. So it's kind of been that way the last couple weeks. B3. I think that is this. Yeah, a lot of my viewership I've noticed just with the analytics is there was quite a bit of Canada, a lot of Canada and a lot of UK. And there's a dude that listens to the podcast and watches stuff, must be because from like Brazil, which I thought was pretty cool. It's kind of neat to get into the YouTube analytics and see where all of a lot of your viewers actually come from. It's really cool. It's really a neat thing. I wish I knew how to speak different languages. I took 4 years of college Spanish and don't remember much. That was like 20 years ago. So here's the thing I that always irks me about this sort of thing is they want you to put your servo horn on, but your servo is not going to be on. So how do you know how to center the servo, right? So you kind of guess. So if you ever need to, one way you can kind of guess on a servo is put your servo horn on and see how it rotates, and it should be fairly equal, right? You would hope. So that should be in the middle. Should be being the appropriate word there. Okay. Yeah, there was a lot of people there having fun on Black Friday, man. It was nice. No pressure to race or anything. Just get out there, get on the track, try to enjoy yourself. Don't break your stuff. If you do, you got a place to go. You can get your parts. Where are these ball studs at? So those are all your machine screws. Those are your nuts. And, ooh, my computer's magnetic. And I don't see him here. So there's got to be another. There's got to be a bin with ball studs. It's weird because it says the same. It says B. Yeah, Trevor's here somewhere. There he was. Oh, Peter's back on here. Man, thanks, dude. It's been a eventful birthday so far. Look at that. There they are. Oh yeah, Demonic Wolves. You guys are from the Des Moines area, right? Or no, you're Chris. Never mind. I know which one you are. Sioux City, yeah. Dude, the Mini Bee. So I think I'm going to turn my Mini Bee brushless here in a little bit, and I definitely want to make a video about that. So I'm going to get the Hobby Wing system, and I think it's be really good. It should be really fun. I want to make it go fast, and then I want to take it on the carpet track. So I have this idea that I've had since going to South Carolina for the Masters of Dirt race down there. So they had this race. They called it the Hoonigan race, and it was kind of like it was backwards, no corner marshals, but it was like anything goes sort of thing. And I was thinking that we should do that with mini tees. So I think at our ProTech Spring Champs race, where we usually do like a dash for cash. I want to we'll do it like a Hoonigan style race. We're just gonna straight rip it off, but with mini tees. So I think it'd be cool if there was like 30 mini tees all at the same time, and it'd be like a timed race, like 5 minutes, and it'd be on the big track. So for the mini tees, it would be crazy. I think that'd be a good take on it. I wouldn't be able to call it the Hoonigan race. I would feel weird because that's just straight ripping them off. But that's kind of what I want to do. I think it'd be really funny. Okay, so we got our steering link here. The Froboy race. That's actually really good. That's really funny. That's a good idea. Sponsored by the HobbyPlex Show podcast. I have to get Will back in studio at some point. I miss having him there in the studio. All right, Servo number 1 is in the books. Shoot. So, yeah, Steve, I don't go to races that often anymore. I used to travel all the time when I was younger and a little bit more ambitious. But, my wife hadn't traveled with us in a long time, and I thought like the beach would be kind of a cool setting to go to. And it was fun. It was definitely fun. She doesn't like to travel that much, though, so next time it'll just be probably me and Emerson. So again, what's really cool about this Tamiya instruction manual is you got these 4 links, and there's 2 different, if you guys can see that, but there's 2 different sizes. And so to make sure that you get the size right, they give you a length, 126 millimeter. But what's really cool is the instruction manual, you can actually take the rod and you can put it up to the paper and it matches it. So that's really neat. I like the instruction manuals that have that capability. That is pretty nice. So F7. So we're going to find F. F. I think this is F. One thing that always cracks me up about Tamiya stuff is the colors they choose for the plastics. Like this is like a mustard yellow. Reminds me a lot of that car, the Falcon. It's kind of the old. It's a little bit different, but it's still kind of that yellow shocks. I never could figure out why they went with yellow. Peter's getting his 74 built to a 74-1. That's pretty cool. Dude, there's been so much stuff that's been out of stock. It's crazy. that a lot of it's finally coming back in. So this week we had like 70 something boxes in our back room, which we don't even really have room for. And a lot of it, most of it, in fact, was just back orders, just showing up because they've been on back order for so long. The good news is they're getting a lot of that stuff done right before Christmas, so that's good. So we'll have it in stock. But man, there's been so much stuff out of stock. Good opportunity to use my shock shaft pliers. So I have this bullhead, but I also have another ClodBuster, and a legit ClodBuster. I'm very tempted to get that kit from J Concepts, the regulator, chassis, and components. Yeah, Jackson, I didn't know either. I mean, I did know, but I haven't made an official announcement. So Jackson Anderson just mentioned that he didn't know that the J Concepts race, our February race, was live. And the reason why it wasn't, because it still hasn't officially been announced by J Concepts, even though I saw proof of the flyer. So I don't know. I just said the heck with it and I put it out there, but I haven't really done any advertising for it yet. Yeah. Yes, Daniel, you do need to go on RC sign up and sign up for the J Concepts race in February. Here's the thing that's going to be tough about that one is that we are right now under 25% capacity rules in the state of Nebraska, which for us, the capacity of the pit area is 306, right? And so we're at 75 people. We have 150 pit spots. Divide that in half. We have 75 pit spots. So it kind of works out that way. If it's still 25% capacity in February, though, for a race like that, there's no way we can hold it. So, you know, it's just one more thing to stress over. This has been a very stressful time, and a lot of races have been canceled because of either capacity limits or quarantining limits and just worrying about who can travel and everything. So I'm really, really hoping that by February, which seems like it should be far away, but it really isn't. It's 2 months away. You know, this thing kind of calms down a little bit again. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah, almost 2,000. We passed 19. Where are we at? 1,900 just the other day. Yesterday. Been keeping track. That's pretty cool. Steve, the Techno Series this weekend, so it's why we're not having Family Friday Off-Road tomorrow, is because tomorrow is a practice day for the Techno Series at the Plex. The HobbyPlex has 2 perennial series, big series races, the Team Associated Summer Series for 1/10 scale cars in the summer, and then the Techno 1/8 scale Winter Series for the big 8 scale cars in the wintertime. We're the only place in a long ways that can run nitro indoors in the wintertime. NDRC in Dallas is another place, and CRCRC in Columbus, Ohio is another place. So they're kind of few and far in between. And I'm really grateful that both those races, both those series are as popular as they are, and it freaking kills me that we have to limit the Techno Series to 75 people, because we probably would easily have 100 people at each event. Last year we did. You know, I kind of looked at it. I went back and I looked it up, and so it just kills me to have to do that. But we got to follow the rules, and I don't know. It just kind of is what it is. Another one. So, but yeah, they're both really popular, and you know, it sold out. I wouldn't say it sold out because nobody's paid it for anything yet, but it closed up in about 10 minutes. We had to limit the first round of the summer series this year too in June, and it about did the same. It took about a day for 75 people. It's pretty limited. Can't believe Jackson and Anderson's gonna move to Texas. Lame. Dang it. There's actually another racer that went to Texas for a little while. Cole. Oh my gosh, what's his last name? But he moved to Texas and raced down there for a little while, and then he moved back. I think he was living with his parents, and then as soon as he could, he ended up moving back. Where'd my pliers go? I have a sneaky suspicion that somebody was down in my tools again, and his first name starts with the letter E. Probably should have put these on first. Would have been easier, I think. These balls look so big. And I never thought I'd be saying that on a YouTube live stream. Come on. Unless I put on the wrong ball stud, but I don't think I did. What is going on? I was waiting for those. Maybe this is the wrong. No, I don't think so. They're all the same size. Those are way too small, so they can't be those. I love how this live stream is basically just me struggling with stuff for a while. That's always fun. I feel like I should take this off and it'd be easier. Although it's not what the instructions say, but I feel like it'd be easier. Oh, come on. Lame. Haha. No, that's the right one. Derp-a-der. Nice. Rod, I got a bunch of clear bodies if you need them. They're the B62s. They're yeah. Not even using them. Every body is like a everybody's like an extra $40. So it's like once I get a body that that gets painted and it'll fit on a car, I don't usually get all these painted. I can bring one of these next week. Got to remind me. It's a B62, but it'll still fit. Jason Prismanis, yes, it's getting through. Lord Fluff, how do people get introduced to the hobby great RC cars without someone else getting in the hobby? I wouldn't have. You know, that's a good question because I got into this through my buddy Chris Catlett, who had I think a Herobo laser when I was a young kid. But I also used to get RC car action all the time. That's been the toughest thing for all these tracks everywhere is how do you get new people involved? And for us, you just got to get them in the store. You know, that's why we do a lot of Facebook, a lot of Facebook advertising. You know, I take those pictures, although Facebook only allows you to do 10 now at a time, which sucks. But I take a lot of those pictures and I kind of make like a, you know, post kind of, you know, what am I trying to say? Summarizing what, you know, what the HobbyPlex has to offer, whether it be RC cars or models, Gundam, all that stuff. And then we put that on Facebook, and then we pay Facebook a certain amount of money to advertise it so that it shows up in people's feeds. That's been, I think, one of the larger driving forces of all these new people that we've got in. But I think a lot of it does come from friends and family, for sure. You know, anytime that we can get exposure, whether it be good exposure, you know, like we whenever we have a big race, we put out press releases to all the TV stations and stuff because that's basically free advertising if they come out, and stuff like that. And then you can see, like on YouTube, a lot some of these videos, like Iowa RC tracks. Chili's got a video from the Plex from the e-buggy nats. It's got like freaking 3 million views. So you know that people outside of the hobby are watching that, which is really nice. Yeah, Jason Haley, you're right. The monster truck stuff. When you get those guys that go out and do that stuff at those monster truck events, we try to sponsor that. We usually give them a banner and stuff to put up. Unfortunately, sometimes I'm not able to go back and see if they actually put it up, but I'm pretty sure they do. Thanks for the warning. All right, so 3x8. Some of these. So I'm leery about leaving this stuff out because my dumb cat, Roxy, she's gonna come up here and start like knocking all of it down. It's annoying. RC you next Tuesday. That's pretty cool. That's a good name. Is asking how it's going. I think it's going well. I'm slowly progressing. building a bullhead, Tamiya bullhead, however you say it. Probably be back next week doing the same thing, finishing it up. I've had these sitting here over in the corner for probably a couple months now, maybe a month. Staring at me, wanting to be built. And since I don't really have anything to do today, other than go back to the track and get the pits all set up for tomorrow, and water the track one more time before tomorrow. Okay, so we got that on there, that on there. Now it looks like we set this aside. And it's chassis time. So it wants me to get rid of those, hope I don't stab myself, those little things. So the sprues, the plastic sprues. Yeah. I want to do another crawler for Emerson. And I'm going to get a builder's kit. So my Vanquish SCX10 mix mash works really good, works really well. So I think we're going to go that route. But I can't decide between the Enduro or an SCX10 2. I'm not sure what to do with that one. Yeah, Jackson. Jared was one of the first. Well, was the first one to call me after the registration ended, so he was technically first on the waiting list. And I actually took Aiden Olson out because he works for us, and that freed up a spot. So that's kind of how that worked. So we're back to these things. Got these giant ball studs. Look at that I'm supposed to use here. Jason Haley, yeah, I do. I kind of dropped the ball. I wanted to have it in November, and obviously that didn't happen. And so I'm thinking it might be a springtime thing. We'll have to find a Sunday to fit it in there. I'd like to do another project car. What I really want to find is a Team Associated B5 rear motor, not a B5M, just a straight up B5, and use that for our team's enduro. I would imagine they're probably easy to find, although a lot of them have been used for dirt oval purposes, so maybe not. But there was one on 402 Club not that long ago, and I think I know the dude that owns it. I doubt he sold it, so I'm going to offer him a price on it when we get closer to that. But I think that'd be fun because I used to do the enduro with a rear motor 22. I think it'd be cool to do with a rear motor B5. For someone who is new, we started with an RTR. How valuable is it to build a kit, learn about all the parts? So I think there's just an incredible amount of value to building a kit, because you get to understand how it works a lot more than if you didn't. And so when you break it, you can fix it a little bit easier because you've already built it. So you should be able to know how to take it back apart. I think there's something to kits as well, especially in your case. Like if you're father and son, you know, I think that doing that together is pretty nice. I know Emerson and I have built a couple kits together. Like he's gotten through about to bag C, and then I have to take over. I think that goes a long ways. It's also nice to pique your kids' interest when they see how stuff goes together. I think that can help with like just basic understanding of how to follow an instruction manual. I think is really important. And then there's like a sense of pride too, you know, when you build your car and you go take it out and everything works like it's supposed to. And, you know, even if it doesn't work, you know, you're going to have a lot of people around to guide you through anything that you might have missed or needed to do different next time. I think there's just something to all that. I think for somebody like me who's been doing this since he was, you know, like 8, and I turned 42 at 2 o'clock this morning, you know, building kits is almost like, you know, kind of second nature. And I think that at least race kits, and I think that that's why something like this that I've never done before, right, is fun to me, like intriguing to try something new, you know, try a different company, you know, a new company. Like when I built my Techno, I was amazed by how the quality of it, how everything went together so well, and pleasantly surprised, you know. So it's nice to go out and it's kind of like just trying new things. Yeah, why doesn't MIP make screwdrivers? That's a good question. That's a very good question. Oh, front and rear. Look at that. Thanks, Tamiya. So on this chassis, I don't know if you guys can see that. There it is. See the F? Is that an F? Yeah, it's an F. So it's got front, and then right there, it's got an R for rear. And then in the instruction manual, there's F and there's rear. So, because this thing goes in a certain way, and you don't want to mess it up. So we will try not to mess it up. Jackson, I tried, man. with all the stuff, you know, RC related, the only thing I don't do is paint. I suck at it, so I don't do it. But other than that, I don't know. I've on here before. I've delved into my instruction manual pile, and because I keep all the instruction manuals of all the cars that I built, unless I've been dumb and lost them. And I think there's like, I don't know. I don't even know. It's so funny because I build a lot of the same cars. Like I've got I got two B6 2Ds boxes down there, so I know I've built two. But then I have a B61 and a B61 DL. That was Emerson's car. And then there's a B61D up there. And then there's another one right there. So I know I've built at least 3 of those cars. And then like 22s. I got 22 boxes all over the place. Because during the time I was sponsored by Losi, which was like 10 years, dude, who knows how many kits I've built, right? But all the instruction manuals are in my drawer down here. So Steve, I have an in with a buddy of mine who no longer paints for a lot of people, but he'll paint for me and he'll paint for a couple other guys. But I always recommend Bob Hamilton, Bob's Bodies on Facebook. He's our local guy, and he doesn't seem burnt out by it yet. So I think he's kind of the go-to guy when we're talking about painting bodies. So he's painted. I think he's painted 2 bodies for me when Kenny wasn't available. And he's gotten a lot better since then too. So this goes like that, and then you got to get those little hex nuts out here. It sucks I still have this cough, man. I'm stupid. Oh, and that's a machine one too. So now we need to get these out. These are the machine screws. And again, I don't want to just open these bags up and pour them everywhere because it'll be difficult to reorganize it all. There's one. There's another. These are a lot of screws. It's kind of intimidating. Not having ever built a ClodBuster before. So I'm 42 years old. I've been doing this since like 1986, and I've never built a ClodBuster. I feel kind of inept, like I was missing out all those years. Oh, there's supposed to be 4 of them. Shoot. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of lightweight bodies. I think there's other places you can spare some weight. Because if you think about it, I mean, that's why a lot of the honored guys, so you see a lot of these honored guys, they don't, if they're running lightweight bodies, they don't even bother putting on their paint scheme, you know, because I'm sure it either costs them or it's time. And the bodies get so beat up so quickly. When you go to Nats, like Nationals, I mean, a lot of times none of those guys have their actual paint scheme on. Does the Clod come rear steer? I believe so, yeah. I'm sure this sounds like crap on there too, this crackling. but I'm pretty sure it is. Or at least you can make it that way, but I'm pretty sure that factory is rear steer. There's another one. Yeah, Jason and I's birthday are like right next to one another. Jason Prismanis is on here. So actually tonight I was I have a monster beetle as well that's not built yet. So I got a whole bunch of these cars in a lot, and they're all unbuilt Tamiya cars. So if I get done with this one, I'll probably do the monster beetle next, which is basically a Blackfoot. So we'll see how that goes. My first kit that I built was that Tamiya Falcon, right there. And my mom and I actually built that. When I say my mom and I mean my mom mostly built it. That was a fun project. I basically did almost nothing. Big dude's on here. He's asking how it's going. It's going well. We're making progress on a bullhead. For those of you guys that don't, so the bullhead is a ClodBuster, but it's got the big old semi-truck body. So, and it's a hard plastic body. So painting that, I don't know. I don't even know what to. You paint it on the outside, obviously. So I might give that one to Bob. Maybe I'll have Bob do that. Have my paint scheme on a bullhead. I think that'd be pretty rad. Yeah. Yeah, I prefer the regular thickness bodies. They just last longer and my 22X4's got a it has a lightweight body on it. I've gotten pretty lucky so far with that not cracking or anything weird. But that body's pretty protected too, you know? Like actually Jason, I was thinking could do a Big Trouble Little China paint scheme. That'd be kind of cool. The Pork Chop Express. Bob, you got to check this out. There's going to be dead air for like 2 seconds. I'm not gloating, by the way. I just want to show you guys how crazy this was. What the heck? I didn't even know this was a bullhead when I pulled it out. I thought it was going to be a ClodBuster. And I'm like, oh, it's a bullhead. But I already had 4 bullhead bodies. How crazy is that? Optimus Prime would be cool. Actually, that'd be kind of neat. Bob's like, what the hell? I know, right? I was thinking, how cool would it be to have a crawler based on one of these, like a class, what is it, class 1 with the hard body? Yeah, maybe. Maybe we can, I don't know, do a trade. You paint the one body and you get a bullhead body. Jerry Doherty's on here. Optimus Primer. Okay, look at that. We've gotten through to the next page. No, they don't. That's the thing. So this kit does have all the plastic pieces for the bullhead, but those do not. So that'd be the crappy thing. I looked, but it was just the plastic on them. Want one. Ooh, that's a good one. The truck from Maximum Overdrive. That'd be a good one. I could see that being cool. Where do you find it? You'd have to have somebody 3D print that or something, though. I think that'd be kind of hard to find. Do they? Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm sure you can find just about anything nowadays online. A1. So that's got to be that one. Okay. J6, and I know that J is going to be over here. Yeah, there's the fuel tanks. And this looks like J. Yep, J. Rod just sent me something and my computer's like, oh, hey. There's the grill and the stacks. That's pretty cool. Tamiya bodies, man. They are just the neatest thing. So J3, which is this guy, and J6, which are these guys. I do. I'm using it right now. Dave gave me an extra power cord. So I have this one that I just keep here now, and then I've got my other one in my bag that I'll take to the track when I run the races. So thank you. That worked out really well. Actually, could make this my although could make this my Froboy truck, but I think I'm going to save that for the ClodBuster. So I have these Froboy stickers that my buddy Tony Leatherman made for me, and I've had this idea of making a monster truck where it's you basically put a curly wig on it, and then I put my Froboy stickers on it. I think it'd be really funny. Peter Renault wants to know what I did for myself for my birthday. I did absolutely nothing. I had to work all day, and we're so behind on stuff at work that I didn't buy myself anything. I'm trying to save money because the plates on my car were due in January, and I'm still driving around without plates. But part of that's due to the COVID thing, because you couldn't get plates for like 6 months, so it's not totally my fault. So I'm trying to get them before they're due again in a month. So they're so I haven't bought myself anything. I've already bought too many cars this year. I've gotten lucky finding a lot of cars this year, even though, I mean, 2020's been terrible for just about everything except for finding vintage cars that I want to buy. I can't remember. Did I show everybody the crawler last week? Any of you guys that were on here? Because I found a Losi comp crawler, and I couldn't. The guy sold it to me. I was astonished, and I was so happy that the guy was going to sell it to me. So I have this. So this one I got yelled at for because this is my original comp crawler body. Honestly, it was like one of the only reasons why I wanted this truck. But it also came with some pretty awesome 2.2 bead locks. But this is a original Team Losi comp crawler. So Team Losi made a 2.2 crawler with a built-in dig. You guys can see that. But it was the first of its kind. Before this, we had the AX10 from Maxiel, and there was a ton of stuff out there for it. But this was before 3D printers and all that stuff too. But to get a dig to lock your rear end, you had to get something like the DNR or DNA dig. They made it for Axial. And then this came along and really put a spanking on that AX10 truck. And then what happened was they allowed motor on axle crawlers to compete with the Losi, like the shafties, right? The shaft. So they allowed motor on axles to compete in the same class as these. Well, I mean, that's a no-brainer. A motor on axle is going to win every time because of the clearance, because they don't have the gearbox. It's literally a motor on the axle. So they had this big gap underneath, so they could do stuff that these things, couldn't even come close to doing. And so the whole thing kind of died. It kind of just faded away because, a lot of the guys who like to compete crawling wise and wanted to use their shafties were getting the shaft literally by the rules. And so it kind of split up rock crawling for a while. And that's kind of where you saw the emergence of the scalar stuff, where we were back to shafts right? And then the rules like Sorka and Sorka Lite pretty much make it so these, not just these, but like motor and axles, you can't use. So I sold mine a long time ago, and I sold it for way too cheap, and I felt really stupid. And so when this came along last week, I was like, dude, you know, the guy was going to try to get it running, and he didn't know what he was doing with his radio and stuff. He had this radio and it was broke, and I'm just like, there's no way. So I pretty stoked. It needs work because you can see the difference here. So see how this comes down and this doesn't? Well, whoever had this put these bent links on, right? But they're the wrong size bent links, so they're shoving the axle way up. You can see the angle of the drive shaft here is wrong. So I fixed the rear end already. This is actually these links here are, I believe, from my Enduro. So I got the rear end correct, but now I got to get the front end right, and then this thing will be basically ready to get electronics put into it and going. It has, what caught my attention was it has the Accelerin, which was this low-C speed controller line, 21.5 crawler edition. So it's got supposed to have a really strong rotor, and then the speed controller is a brushless speed controller. I haven't even turned it on to see if it'll work. The guy's got Traxxas plugs, but it does have an external BEC from Castle, and the dig servo is lined up, and then it has a 7954 SH high voltage, high torque, high tech servo. So I paid $200 for it, and to be honest with you, the wheels that were on this are worth $200. So I came out okay, but I kind of cut into my plate money a little bit, but whatever. You only live once, so. The only thing that bums me out is it doesn't have, I need to find some Boss claws. So Team Losi crawler tires, they're all illegal. You can't use them in any of the Sorka competitions, but they had this one set, and it was called Boss claws, and it was basically their 8-scale, what was called Eclipse, which is a really good racing tire, and they made it into a 2.2 crawler tire, and they dominated. I mean, they would just grab and crawl over anything. So can't find them anymore, which bums me out. But what was really cool about this was I still have my original body, and the first thing I did when I came home was stick this puppy back on here, and was pretty happy. So got these stickers at Action Signs. Joe Proctor made them. My Budweiser and Nissan stickers. Roger Mears paint scheme. So this thing's basically ready to get running again, and it's exciting. Once I get it going, I'll probably take a video. The cool thing is if I break it, a lot of the parts are still made because they make the Nightcrawler. It's basically what a Nightcrawler is just the cheaper non-dig version of this. So, you know, if I do break anything, I think I can still get most of the worm gear stuff. But you know, if anything's not made, you can kind of find this stuff on eBay, or I can use Nightcrawler parts eventually too. So I'll get it running again. It'll be a sweet thing to bring to comps, just for fun, not to compete with, but just to have for fun. I already looked it up to see if it would fit in class 3, and it doesn't. So, wah, wah. And actually, I'm pretty sure those axles are pretty highly sought after. So, you know, if I ever wanted to, I probably could break it down and sell it, but I don't want to do that. Kind of fills a gap in the old collection, you know. I sold my comp crawler for $150. That's stupid. Because mine I had cut the chassis and turned around the transmission so the drive line was straight, because right now the drive line's at an angle. And you know, I did pretty good at the local comps. I was kind of competing for third because there was Chris and Ty who both had motor on axle stuff. And yeah, I usually knew I was driving for third place, so you know, whatever. Back then, no, I didn't. I sold it to a buddy of mine who used to own a track here in Omaha. And it was kind of the same deal. The crawling scene had kind of died off. And so it was one of those things where I was like, I treated it kind of like my race cars. You know, I'm like, all right, season's over. I want a new one. I'm done. I'll sell it off. But I sold it for way too cheap. If I would have known better, like if I would have just looked on rccrawler.com and seen what they were going for at the time, you know, I would have never let it go for that cheap. I really need a Tamiya screwdriver. This is going to suck. I know a place that sells them. I also don't want this to like go through my hand. That'd be terrible. There we go. So first body mount set is almost in. Yes. And go like that. Front body mount goes like that. Does it? Oh. I'm dumb. I was busy talking and I didn't read the instruction manual. My first mistake. I almost made it through a whole show without a dumb mistake building this car. Whoa. Got a Techno EB8 48 for 450 and an EB 410 for 350. Huh. Which version of the 410, or not 410, of the 48? We'll just say I pre-tapped these. That's what I was doing. I was pre-tapping the screws. Oh, well, that's really good. Can hear my cats upstairs going crazy. How do you bleed 8-scale shocks? Jackson, is that bladder or non-bladder? Emulsion or bladder? My name's Alex, and this is the first time building a Tamiya bullhead. So I didn't read the instructions. Liam, I'm starting to build, I should say, a Tamiya bullhead. So probably not going to get too far. I was actually pretty impressed that I was able to turn the page tonight because I tend to talk a lot. So something I've been meaning to get to since I acquired it, and I figured tonight would be a good night since I don't have a whole lot of nothing else going on. I got to glue some tires, but I got to do that tomorrow. So I'll do that at the track. Jackson Anderson asked a question, and I asked him a question because I believe that Adam Drake has a video or two on that very specific question. I think he just came out with a bladder shock video this week. So if you haven't seen it yet, that'd be a good source. I'd love to talk about it, but most 8-scale shocks, you just you build it like a, well, if it's emulsion, because you said no. So if it's emulsion shocks, you just build it just like a like an associated shock, except that if they don't have a screw, right, there should be a little hole. You basically put the cap about halfway, and that's when you bleed the shock, and then you tighten it all the way down. But I would watch the Adam Drake video. So, because he super knows what he's talking about. Daniel Bender asked if there are 8-scale 2-wheel drive. No, there is not. And I'm trying to think through my RC history if there ever was one. I think on-road, there's some 8-scale on-road that are 2-wheel drive. You don't see them very much anymore. Most of even the on-road racing ones are 4-wheel drive. Yeah, the Kyosho bodies are pretty awesome. The Chevelle, and there was one more. What did they have? Oh God, my car names. Chevelle and Challenger. I think they had a Challenger on that same chassis. Very detailed. We carry the bodies. We don't carry the cars. I mean, we can get them, but we do have the Chevelle body at the store. It's like $60, and it comes with all the plastic. So Liam's on here saying he got the Losi Mini B because of me. Well, that's good. Yeah, you're welcome. The Mini B is pretty awesome. I'm gonna very shortly here, once I get some Christmas money, I'm gonna make mine brushless. So I'll be doing a video on that. I'm gonna use the Hobby Wing one because it's cheap, and I already have a receiver, so it should be really good. Ready to make it go fast. I think it's gonna be fun. Then I can race with the guys at the track that are running mod mini tees on our carpet. Clayton's on here. Thank you. I'm old. I feel like this is the rear bumper. But it said J3, so it's got to be this one. It's going to go that way. Oh, look at that. Three by 15. So those are going to be, yeah, the carpet stuff's fun. We're if you like those videos, check out Rod Case Racing, RC Racing. He's got a lot of videos from our track. He's got a couple of the mini T mains on there. You should check out. He does a good job with those. So, and subscribe to his channel. He's trying to get 1,000 subscribers. So it's RC Racing. I'm fat. All right. Let's see. One more piece here. We're gonna do we need to find a 3x15. And I need to get my calipers back out. That's one of these. And one of these. And then it's one of these. And one of these. And they come in from the bottom. I feel like I should do this. Yeah, there you go. He's got a lot of good videos. So he does a good job of getting all the videos from all the tracks that he goes to. And then just the so I'm going to try to get, because, you know, I've been doing most of our videos from my phone, right? And it dawned on me very early in this that I could edit on my phone. And so that's how you get the longer videos. I haven't done anything on computer as far as editing goes. That's going to change. So my sister and I, my sister's like a web person. Like, you know, she's got all that cool stuff. So I think I'm going to invest in Adobe and try to make a little bit more professional looking, I guess. Liscombe 20's on here, racing mini T brushless on carpet. It's hard to handle with so much speed. Have you tried putting a lot of weight in it? So one of our guys who's really fast with his actually took a, gosh darn it, it's hard to do this and talk, one of the battery plates from a 10 scale car that we put underneath of our batteries, and he essentially glued it to the bottom of his chassis and then put a hard tape on it, like a chassis protector, right, to cover it up so that it can still glide. And his stuff does pretty good, having that low, having that much weight that low. Seems to do really, really good. So I was basically just planning on copying his setup altogether when the time comes. What do you think is a good budget RC car for me? Liam wants to know. It kind of depends on what your definition of budget is and what you want to do with it. What I tell people to store is, we we kind of have the levels of stuff. So we've got the ECX brand. It's all 2-wheel drive, and they're fairly inexpensive. I think it's $149 for the amp monster truck. Gosh, and then you jump up to the Arma brushed cars that are a little over $200, and then it's the Arma brushless and Traxxas brushless stuff that's up in the $300. So it kind of or $400 almost. So it kind of just depends on your definition of budget. And everybody has an opinion, and you'll find that RC cars, at least, a lot of it can be very brand specific when you ask everybody's opinion. I can tell you that if you're just looking for a fun basher, you really can't go wrong with just about any of the, how do I put this? Any of the major brands that are out there, like Arma, Traxxas, ECX, what's another one? Certain Red Cat, right? There's some stuff out there I still don't think is very good, and then there's some that is getting better. So kind of just depends. Yeah. The HobbyPlex, our store, we sell a lot of Arma and a lot of Traxxas. And one of the main reasons for that is because for Traxxas, everybody on the planet makes aftermarket stuff for it. And for Arma, it's getting better. Hot Racing's done a really good job of aftermarket stuff, but both of them have proven to be tough. The electronics actually work, and parts are readily available. So I still think that a Traxxas Slash is probably one of the best cars of all time for any beginner. You can't go wrong with it. I mean, I have one, so you definitely can't go wrong. There you go. You got the front body mounts and the front bumper on. Now I'm gonna hide all this stuff from my cat. A couple quick questions here, and then I'm gonna go. What? Okay, I'll turn it on for you a second. It's draining. Yeah. That's my wife. Let's see. Cole wants to know if you missed any Black Friday deals. You did not. Actually, the deal's going on right now. There's a coupon that expires in like a week. It's actually more than our Black Friday coupon. So if you spend more than $125, use your coupon, you get $20 off. Big Dude wants to know Red Cat Curl's good. So the Everest 10 and Everest 7 and the Gen 8, I think they're all great. They work fine. The new Gen 8s have updated plastics and metal portal axles, so they're a little bit tougher than the original ones. So you can't go wrong there. That's one reason why we carry them at the store. So far, all the electronics and stuff have worked, so that's always good. Liam wants to know what state we're in. So it's Omaha, Nebraska, right smack dab in the middle of the country. And Bender wants to know, can you spray paint a rear wing? Absolutely. The reason why you don't see people spray paint their rear wing that often is because we go through wings so much because we crash too much. So that's why most guys will take their wings and they'll Scotch Brite it, so it's got like a tinge to it, but you don't see a lot of painted wings. But I would say go for it because painted wings look cool. So for a little while, I was painting my wing black. Yeah, Matt Ling makes up a good point. Aftermarket stuff for the Red Cat stuff, there's not as much out there. On the Gen 8, they give you the insert so you can use bumpers that work for a axial stuff. So I know that for a fact because I used to have a Gen 8. Yeah, Mike Sanders paints his wings. That's right. Liscombe 20's on here. Are we the store that has the track? Yes, we are. We have one of the largest indoor off-roads, permanent indoor off-roads in the country. And we've got a big carpet track. We do carpet off-road. We do dirt oval. We do 8-scale and 10-scale off-road. We almost do it all, except for drag racing. But that might change next year. We've got a parking lot, a new parking lot across the way, and they're closed on Sundays. So we might be able to use their parking lot. We'll have to wait and see. Best starter crawler. Axial has one called a is it Deadbolt? It's $2.99. And nobody keeps the stock links anyways, so the links that are on it are plastic. And since everybody usually updates their links anyways, that's a really good one. Yeah, I know, Tim. I keep telling him that, and he keeps wanting to be down here shirtless for the thumbnail. So, I mean, whatever. Funny story. The last time he was down here shirtless and he was pinching his boob, I had twice as many views because of the thumbnail. Anyways, okay, that's like an hour and 40 minutes. I'm beat. It's been a busy day. I think I'm gonna. I know I'm going to hate it, but I think I'm gonna watch The Mandalorian tonight and then go to the track tomorrow morning before we open and set up all the pits. And I have to hide all these screws and stuff from my cat. So, yeah. So I'm gonna bail. So you guys take it easy. This was a really good, fun show tonight. I'm glad nothing stupid happened, like the computer shutting off or Emerson downloaded a video or a game or anything like that. So I'll probably not have a chance to touch this until next week. So maybe you might see it partially built by the time next Thursday rolls around, and we'll pick it up from there. So adios, everybody. Thank you. Bye.